At the beginning of the story, we meet a boy named Rentt. See, the adventurer who was inside a cave stood alone, and in front of him was a giant. The dragon was present bronze-level adventurer. Because of that giant, even after wanting the Rentt, the bird could not withstand the dragon, and the very next moment, that dragon bird attacked Rentt. In the next scene, we see that when Rentt regains consciousness, he throws himself in the same finds inside the cave in which the dragon he was attacked by now. When the Rentt was nearby, sees itself underwater. So he is totally shocked, because now he had turned into a skeleton. Rentt doesn't trust his new look was happening, and he screamed loudly that this cannot happen. In the next scene, we will see the story of Rentt. Let's see the scene before entering the cave when Rentt got up very early in the morning, and he used to say, "For an adventurer, the journey begins early." It happens that even poor people wake up early in the morning. But rich and educated people sleep till noon. Can Rentt some educated friends? They were scholars, but in the eyes of Rentt, they were people. He lived an incomplete life because he was so busy in research that he even had to sleep. I used to forget the Rentt after getting ready, and he takes his sword and leaves the house, and meanwhile he tells us that the adventurer, they get up early in the morning because they can get good work from the guild. Rants indicate that their guild is based on their rank and gives work according to their abilities. And the guild has all kinds of work to do, like from cleaning to killing monsters. Rent a guild according to your own tasks. I was searching for it when suddenly their friends come and ask for Rentt whether you are in the labyrinth moon. Reflection. Going again. On this, the Rentt says that yes, if no good work is done, then Rentt's friends ask him that. How could he do so much work alone? After they're gone, Rentt labyrinth moon. During this time, one turns towards reflection. Rentt also states that his friends and most adventurers party, but he does not join them because he is 10. Bronze, even after being an adventurer for years, is at the same level because of which he himself Rentt does not agree better. After this, Lebens the moon comes to the cave of reflections. Lebens moon? Reflection is actually inside the earth. Such a mysterious and scary thing was excavated from there were tunnels where monsters and dragons lived. Adventurers used to fight monsters and dragons. After killing them, the precious treasure found in their bodies make money by selling things, but the truth of Labyrintho reflection can be told to anyone. I didn't know. It had dragons and monsters in it. Where does the Rentt come from when you go inside? It sees a new door open. Rentt is so happy to see that door. And inside that goes the faith to Rentt. I thought that inside that door he had found something magical. You can get this thing, or treasure on Rentt. I was feeling happy thinking that if he had this, in the cave, inside the mysterious door, even if you don't find any treasure or magical thing, he tells his family about that mysterious door. Can earn a lot of money by telling the guild. Now there is Rentt. When the one inside that door? If he goes inside the secret cave, then there is a giant dragon in front which charges for Rentt. He attacks him, and this was the same scene. What we saw at the beginning of the story. In the next scene we see that the dragon, when Rentt regains consciousness after the attack, so he finds himself as a skeleton. I was totally shocked and didn't understand it. I was wondering how he is alive, after all. He says that he has now become an undead monster who are immortal, and that is why Amar is alive, even after being a skeleton. Because of this, he will neither die nor he has no priest. She was purified, but her body was not. Now he has become an undead monster. Rentt about going back to your city, but then he remembers that when he went to the city in this form, the soldiers arrested him. They will make it, and the priest does not know what to do with it. Will Rentt labyrinth moon after some time in the caves within reflection, walks around and thinks about, in a few days when the solo adventurer goes that way. When he comes, he will ask them for advice that what should he do, but then he remembers that if he were to go solo in this form as a solo adventurer, if he goes in front of him, he too will think of him as a demon. We will attack him first, so he needs to practice talking. Because that voice came from the absence of a body. I couldn't take out the Rentt now. I see that, a skeleton monster above him from the front coming towards him to attack. Rentt is currently more expensive than a common man. I was feeling weak at this time, and skeletons are in each other's arms at monster power. We're equal, but memories of Rentt still remain was with him, because of which he shared his experiences. Rentt first. Using your soul energy increases power now, because every living, there is soul energy in a being. That is why it use your soul energy first. By doing this, it increases its power, and then its attack with the sword and kill the skeleton. Drops the skeleton after monster dies. all his soul energy goes to Rentt. He was totally shocked to see this, and now he feels himself stronger than before. Now Rentt remembers what his teacher had said, who once told Rentt that demons have a mysterious quality about time. And with experience they grow up. A chance to get a skeleton monster, by the way. So there's always a skeleton monster. But on some occasions it evolves into a solution, which becomes a sustancia. Also tells that right now she is a sistia. She is now doing research on evolution. It is understood that it is also a result of evolution. The solution can actually be converted into a solution with the help of an undead skeleton is similar to a monster. But there is flash on their body like a dry dead body. Well, after that, he wants to kill these lebens and end their power. Absorbing and becoming a solution itself decides because after the solution is made, the skeleton can cover the body with a mask and put a mask on your face and go back to the city. On the other hand, we can rent a teacher who is waiting for the rent. And even after a long delay when he doesn't, if he comes, he decides to cook food himself. On the other hand, in the labyrinth Rentt, kill 5 skeleton monsters, one by one, drops and absorbs their soul energy. I'm feeling stronger than ever before. Rentt a slime monster in the labyrinth. Slime monsters appear weak monsters, but because our Rentt was a skeleton, so it remained hidden, and alert takes on the slime monsters from slime monster. Seeing the Rentt in front of you tries to attack her with acid, but Rentt escapes his attack and attack the slime monster with your sword. Kills him. By killing the slime monster, Rentt retrieves the magic stone that's inside him and then puts the slime in a bottle. Starts collecting slime by filling it in. As long as the monsters are alive, their slime, there are acids, but after their death, their slimes completely transform, and they are also used for skincare. This can be done so Rentt this slime can earn money by selling it. In the next scene, we will see Sella, who is a guild assistant. A man comes to the Sella, who is from Sella, asks about that new adventure, that there was very little information about the war, but she is good at swordsmanship and hence Sella beats. Her tells me there's no one for that new adventurer. There was no opportunity, so he lived on rent. I was going to ask if maybe they both are together. I can work, but from tomorrow, I will not be able to pay the rent. I don't know. That man tells Shayla that maybe Rentt has found a good job. But Shayla says no, there is no such job who can send the Rentt out of town. Shayla, she also tells the man that he is asking about the adventurer. The adventurer needed money, so he told him about the labyrinth and also warned him about the dangers. In the next scene, we see the Rentt who is sitting inside the cave and thinking. Now he neither feels hungry nor does he. He feels sleepy, and all this happens because his body does not have any. Seeing this, the Rentt was being paid because of this, was very happy that he could use his soul, and Divinity Rentt can now use the power of. Guess that he is running 2 monsters at the same time, but if 3 or more. If I had to face more monsters than this, there may be an end to it, but in this labyrinth, getting such a big group or squad in Rentt was impossible. Then he thinks that how he learned to be an adventurer. It took 20 whole years, during which he worked without I took leave and gave hard training to my teacher. I learned about magic and many other things from him. Did small jobs, but still he was a Rentt, is now a bronze level adventurer. Above platinum and gold level decides to become the adventurer, who is Mithra. Level Rentt was in full swing at this time. That is why it comes forward very easily. Skeleton kills monster and kills the giant slime also kills the monster, because his powers were increasing now. That's why he was very happy, but then suddenly rented. All powers of slime monster starts entering the body, and it transforms into a solution. The Rentt looked like a dried dead body. Rentt was very happy with this, but he still was unable to speak properly because the body was not complete yet. That is why she was unable to speak. He practices now. There is hope inside him. He wanted to become a high-level ranked adventurer. After this, we see that the solution. Give the Rentt to the labyrinth after it is built. Goblin monsters. Meet but now, because Rentt had already become quite powerful, that's why he is ready to face them both. Rentt decides his soul first and use DeVito. To protect yourself, and your makes the sword powerful, and then it's afterwards he attacked those 2 goblins. He kills them, and can feel the Rentt that now he is. More than his human form. Now Rentt has become powerful. It is like a labyrinth. Inside appears a solo adventurer who is fighting a skeleton alone, and this solo somehow kills him. The adventurer is none other than Sela K was the same adventurer, sent by. There was very little knowledge of war, but Rentt was good at swordsmanship. If Labyrintho had not been made, then perhaps these 2, that solo adventurer would have a partner. Seeing this, Rentt becomes very happy because quite. After many days, he found a person, but he couldn't face her like this. Now Rentt sees that the adventurer begins to proceed on a dangerous path. But high-level demons and monsters live there. Here's a skeleton behind that adventurer. Monster appears and is attacked. The adventurer starts off very quickly, bravely faces the skeleton. But because he has no desire to fight, he did not have any experience. That is why he went to Munster. Rentt cannot stay away from the front for long. That skeleton had been watching him. Since the adventurer starts to feel overwhelmed, and he grabs his sword with his hands. The girl was very scared at this time. But before the Munster girl gets any, the Rentt causing damage comes there, who uses his soul and divine power, and then cuts that skeleton in the middle and rescues the adventurer. Rentt? She was terribly frightened after seeing this, and she herself, I'm asking you to stay away from me. He tells her that my name is Rentt, and I'm also an adventurer. Talk about Rentt. Hearing this, the girl asks Rentt whether you have some kind of illness on. This tells him no, I am dead, and now I have become a ghost. That girl considers me her own. She tells him her name is Rina, and asks him that Rentt from her on whether she can go back. He says yes, she can go back, because he's not going to kill him, but he needs to help with the rent when Rina asks him to. But he tells her that he buys clothes for her. Bought it so he could go back to the city, and he gives all those magical stones to Rina, which he has given to Munster. Till now, Rina understood that they had killed and collected Rentt is completely different from other ghouls and monsters, so he decides to help with the Rentt and the magical powers given by her. She takes the stone and leaves Labyrinth. After she leaves, Rentt begins to think that, for Rina, being an adventurer, it would be quite hard to believe a ghoul. But I feel like he is cheating on me. In the next scene, we see that Rina reaches Sela, who has given her Labria, tells Rina that after seeing this, I'm glad you weren't hurt anywhere, because even after the sun sets, you are still there. I'll be worried about you if you don't come back. On this, Rina tells Sela that a lot happened in Lebanon, but I want to ask you something on the other side. We Rentt a giant flood in the labyrinth fight with Munster, and now, because Rentt has become much more powerful than before, that's why he could easily kill that monster. Now the Rentt is being heard through Rina's voice, which is heard making a loud noise. She was calling Rentt, after which he came to Rina's. He goes closer and is happy to see that Rina came back this time when the Rentt was from Rina. If he talks, he is able to speak better than before, was when Rina asked him about it. Then he tells that he has enough time to speak. Rina has practiced after hearing this from Rentt. She says this is a really good idea. After this, he wore the clothes brought by Rina, which Rentt likes a lot. Rina did bring good clothes for Rentt, but at the same time she had touched his hands and white bandages to cover the legs. I had also brought the Rentt. He is very happy to see this and thinks what a nice girl she is. When Rentt wears all his clothes, he was looking much better than before, and that Rina. She also likes that dress a lot. She praises him and looks at the mirror she brought, tells him to look at himself. When he looks at himself in the mirror, he realizes that the suit he brought really fits him. He looked good, but his face was quite. The one who rented the cap of his suit was ugly. Rina sees this and tries to hide it. She asks him to wear the mask she brought for him. After applying, the front side of the Rentt gets hidden. He is very happy to see this, but then he realizes that the mask is his. Now it was stuck to my face when I asked for the Rentt. She tells him that she has seen this mask for quite some time. I bought it cheaply. She also says that he had checked whether there was any trace of this mask. Hearing this, I guess if it is not a curse, it seems that a curse will surely be imposed after wearing it. It must have been activated, that is why he is on his debit card. Breaking the curse using the power tries to remove the mask, and Rina was surprised to see that she was in her Divlikai. Divli can use the power. That mask is not working because the power is out. Seeing this, Rina could not take it out and apologized to the prostitute, demands that he give her a cursed mask. I gave it to you. This says, I'm sorry, there is no need to ask, and during this time he even touches her by mistake for this. He apologizes to her. But now Rina herself. She holds Rentt's hand and tells him, I know that you are a good person. That's why I'm not afraid of you anymore. Rentt, upon hearing his words, one understands that he is force yourself to believe above is happening. That is why he tells Rina that you don't force yourself unless you really feel. I won't believe me on this. Rina says there is not much time left. After this, Rina will return from Iran to Malt City. She asks them to leave, after which both of them, riding on a horse-drawn carriage towards the city of Malt. Let's set out on our way. Rina Rentt that she is in a town called Malt. I came to be an adventurer, but came to the city after he found out that there was an even better. Many high-level adventurers live here. Is there any work for Rina in Mold City? But he was always an adventurer. She wanted to become a girl, so she studied in Labinos, decided to go because Labinos were very close to Rina. After listening to her, Rentt was sent to her, explains that, look, I can understand that, how are you feeling? But the adventurer must be afraid because you, Rina, has only one life her. I like these things very much. Well, for some time later, both of them reach the city gate. The Rentt tells Rina that here as many people know that's why. If he shows his ID, then there will be a problem for him on which he can go from the other door. She asked me to leave, and then the Rentt is hers. Thanks him, and says now, I don't want anybody to help me because my truth is revealed inside the city. After that, you'll get your adventurer's license. On this, Rina says that we may have to lose our lives too. It's because of you that I am alive today. That's why I wouldn't give my life for you. I can Rina and rent it from there. After that, Rina, the guard at the door, goes ahead after seeing his ID they let him in. But they stop the runt at the door, and they tell you to remove the mask. He gets scared on hearing this, but Rina tells the guard. She lies that she is going to fight a monster. During this, Rentt's face was badly injured. To hide it, he is wearing a mask, is using it, but without a mask. He can't get down because he is cursed. On hearing Rina's words, the guard himself. He tries to remove the mask, but they are not able to remove the mask. That is why they go inside the city by believing in things. Gives a chance to Rentt after coming to the city. Seeing this, he goes away from Rina and hides. Rina starts looking at him everywhere. He did this so that there should be no problem, and he decides that when he regains a completely human body, if he takes the Rentt, he will go and apologize to him. Then it goes back to Lauren. Who is? Lauren was sleeping while seeing her in the mask. She tells him not to scare me like that. Do this on the Rentt. Shows him his hand. Seeing this, Lauren was totally shocked and asks, Rentt, why is she with you? What happened next? Lauren tells Rand, did you know that I studied monsters and magic? I have done a lot of research on it, but I have never read anywhere that a dragon ate the adventurer, and he turned into a skeleton. By the way, did he just go to the dragon labyrinth? It is available on this, he says. No Rentt. Upon hearing this, Lauren tells him that I can't trust you right now. Hearing this, Rentt understands that Lauren is his. Because of this new look, he is not trusted. Lauren is able to do this, then she asks him, is whether you're still a Rentt or a be undead on this. He tells her that my possesses Rentt's mind and memories, but technically I'm dead, so what? In reality, I am Rentt, these things about Rentt. Hearing this, Lawrence understands that she has any other than trusting Rentt right now. There is no choice after this. She asks him, now that's what you're going to do next. Tells that he is a Mithril-level adventurer, wants to become whatever happens, but because he went to the guild in this condition, Lawrence cannot take the mission for himself. Now he requests to bring mission from Lauren, tells him that you are in this condition. I won't be able to live anywhere else. That's why you can stay here. But I'll tell you, I can't keep it here for free. That's why you need to help me with my research, and you stay here with me, and you can do magic and monster. You will be able to know even more about Rentt. On hearing this, he asks her, is anybody going to do any research on me? Lauren says no, but I'll take the test. I can definitely ask for your skin for you. After this, the Rentt was brought by him, lots of money in exchange for lime liquid. To whom the Rentt is a blacksmith. Went to the shop to get a new sword, goes because his old sword is worn out. Blacksmith's key was badly damaged. When it is discovered that Rentt is the source of his soul magic, and Divi can use all three powers. She gets surprised and tells him that the second one to come to him was like this. An adventurer who uses all three powers. Shop owner can make. Sword from Rentt. Takes half the money, and the other half the money is a sword. After being made, she decides to take it there. On the other hand, we see Lauren, who is I was doing research about the solution, and read Lauren was learning from books that Ghoul is physically strong and surviving, and they are adept at making use of humans. Lauren enjoys eating meat. Knowing this, was totally shocked that the undead was becoming a ghoul after losing my memories and human emotions. But this is not the case in case of Rentt, and that is why Rentt was different from the rest of the solution and special. After this, we will see how Lauren became a doctor. At a very young age, Rentt became his assistant, and when a goblin attacks them in the forest, if he gives the Rentt, then it will help him to fight against it. And when Lorraine needs her medication, when I got to know about knowledge, it was quite... She gets impressed and tells him all this too. Requests to be taught, and since then Rentt and Lauren are with each other and we know each other on the other side. Let's look at the Rentt, which the blacksmith calls gives him another sword, and until then tells you to use it unless his sword is not ready. Rent them. by saying thanks to both Smith husband and wife, and Smith leaves with the sword. Use of soul energy and magic on one's own could, and he knew that the rent was due at this time. I am affected by some curse. Well, after this, we see that dinner with Rentt. Lauren is sitting at the table, and Lauren tells him that I read the whole book again and I found out that you are completely different from a normal solution. So, what are you going to do next? Rentt tells Lauren that he is among humans. I want to stay and continue my evolution, wants attention so that he can be there again. As best as I can in rented rooms, he became powerful by killing monsters, and he had evolved. So he returned to Lebanon, decides to leave. In the next scene, in the labyrinth, we see a man who is... A slime was fighting with monster, but he can't stand up to that slime monster. And before that man could reach monster, the one who kills that lime comes here, kills the monster, and saves the man. The man paid Rentt to save his life. He says thanks and asked me to join his party, actually. This guy requests there was a normal chef who worked as a chef in the city, runs a restaurant but has a lot of debt going, caused him to become an adventurer. Rentt is sure to keep her with you, but because he was a new adventurer. That is why leaving him on his own. It was dangerous for me to run. He says, okay, at least you can join the party. Can you help me with carrying the stuff? After this, he went out of the cave with that man. Goes in where the dragon charges at him. Inside that cave, they were attacked by you find a secret path through which you can move forward. As they moved forward, they both reached an empty room. In the middle of that room, there's the teleportation circle was made, but that only Rentt could see the circle. That is why that man refused to pay the rent. Nevertheless, he goes inside the room, and as soon as she stood on top of the telep circle, she went to the second. Seeing this, the place gets teleported to that man to save him. He himself teleported to that place. Rentt arrives, sees that his partner was lying down injured, and in front of him was the giant skeleton monster stood up, because people had entered the boss room unknowingly. Because Rentt has become more powerful than ever before. So he fought with the giant skeleton and saved him. Rentt decides to kill first. By using your soul and divine power makes himself and his sword powerful. After this, he attacked the giant skeleton. He does this by attacking his leg, knocks him down and hits him on the head with the sword. Succeed in attacking and killing him. After this, he goes to heal Safe's wounds. He heals him with his power and brings him back to his senses. Safe, when you have that giant skeleton in front of you, if he sees a dead person, he doesn't believe it. It would have been that Rentt had killed him alone. Well, thanks to Rentt for saving my life, says, after killing the giant skeleton. A big magic stone that gets Rentt, Seth decides to give him his trust. It was not possible for him to find that magic stone is paying Rentt on this to his. While showing his skin, he explains that at this time, he is no less than a monster, because of which he do not go to any restaurant or guild. That's why he wants Safe to replace him. Go to those places that she readily agrees to. Rentt is paid after that to his restaurant. I also request for free food for which it is considered safe. Well, after this, by sending the safe inside the teleportation circle. From there, telep it and send it out of the lab. In the next scene, we see that Rentt was standing outside Safe's restaurant. And Safe, to take it from your restaurant, introduces the next safe key. Hearing the voice, his wife Isabel arrives, who Safe was very happy to see him safe and sound. Tells him that Rentt saved his life and that Isabel, was given her big magic stone. Also shows Isabel that Bigger was very happy to see the magic stone, because that way all their debts can be paid off. And after that, both of them happily opened their restaurant. We can start again after that. Isabel? And thanks for helping with Safe rent. Now because the name of the safe is Rentt. I didn't know that's why he stopped the rent and paid it. Asks for his name and tells him his name is Loris. There is no way to tell Loris his name. He gives his name on the condition that Loris also promises Ren that he will be his. He will not reveal the name to anyone, and says that you can come here to eat any time. We will be so glad to have Arendt back as heading to Lauren's house. Strange changes begin to occur in his senses. He thinks that Loris is he was a human being. He told her about the restaurant and I didn't exactly lie about it, but maybe it would have been better if this had not happened. Now it is like this. That's why I was thinking, because actually when I was in the labyrinth with Loris, so he probably felt weird seeing blood, wanted to kill him and eat him because the ghouls do the same, but he has put it on himself. I had controlled it, but now he says that he must use it on someone bad. Now when the rent comes to Lauren asks him what his labyrinth is all about. How was his experience? Did he get any experience there? Rand says no. When he finds a dragon. Lauren then starts talking to him and asks him some questions also, but Rentt does not pay much attention to what he says, and he goes to Lorraine and hugs her. Lauren sees this and asks him what happened. Now, before she could understand anything, Rentt came to her, attacks him, and bites him on the shoulder. Because his whole personality dominates him, who was forced to eat human blood and flesh. Lauren likes seeing this. Rentt himself, she pushes me away and asks, "What is the Rentt?" "Do this, to know that you're still inside." Wanted to Rentt somewhere with her memories, and is it not a complete solution by losing all the emotions? It becomes possible when Lauren confirms that if the Rentt is still present somewhere. She uses her magic to pay the Rentt, calms him down, and puts him to sleep. After some time when he regains consciousness, he tells Lauren he apologizes for attacking her. Because he also knew that he had lost control and attacked Lauren for this. Lauren tells him that she knows nothing about him. Don't think too much. It was just an accident. Rentt then tells Lauren that when he killed Loris, the man he found in the lab, look, something started happening to him then, and he felt like eating Loris. Lauren listens to him carefully and then asks him to relax, and you should also relax yourself. She starts going to do it because tomorrow she has to. Selling a lot of nutrition at Magic Pharmacy, you will need to buy the necessary ingredients, so that could heal his wound, but Rentt could not save him. He stops her and asks her to show him her wounds. On hearing about the Rentt, Lauren tells him shows her wound, after which Lorraine returns to her using divine power. Lorraine's seeing this, Lauren heals the wounds. Was surprised that Rentt divine power was used. Usually I was able to pay more rent now. You can also control your cursed mask and was able to speak much better than before. After this, he used to look at his own body. He is very happy because now he is a fast forward from solution to human body was growing. And there was a lot of positive in his body. Lorraine tells him that changes have occurred, that this change happened in him after drinking her blood. Well, after this, she tells him that you first became a skeleton, and then she says that she got transformed into a solution. You transform from solution to guest. You're headed in the direction that vampires usually go. There are slaves, but Rentt has never been given to anyone till date. Did not see the guest, but in his mind. The question was that he would transform into a guest, Lauren, on why this would be her. Assistencia explains about evolution. That a powerful monster can do anything at his will can also change inside you. Maybe that's why I want to be a human. Are these changes taking place inside you, or it could be a coincidence, or it could be. There must be some special reason behind all this. So far, Lauren has been through the skeleton of the Rentt, the human being who is created and now comes into his body. I don't understand anything about the changes. Now Lauren was going to rent it as a ritual in which she is given a small monster was going to be needed. And that way the little monsters, mostly volcano. Like Lauren also found this in many places. She says that maybe this change has happened in her body. You are coming because of the environment, but that wasn't completely sure about it. But she assures Rentt that Lauren can turn back into a human. After this, take off all the clothes from so that she can use her magic too, could check every part of the body, but he refuses to do so. Well, the next blacksmith after morning Rentt practice reached his shop with the sword given by him, because he has to fight the giant skeleton. Blacksmith was ruined during. He was surprised to see the condition of his sword, and I asked Rentt if there is someone like this in Labyrinth. It is not Munster that the sword is in such a condition. Let's rent it out as an unexplored area. Giant skeleton found in, and blacksmith tells about the fight. He was surprised to know this and asked if he had explored the area which he was forbidden to go to. He does it and asks for his sword, but because his sword isn't ready yet, so Smith gave her one more and another. The temporary sword gives the Rentt. For that sword, takes the baton and sets out towards the labyrinth. He says that he is from an unexplored area and the fastest man to defeat the giant monster. I want to evolve on the way. Now he sees Loris and his wife who fresh vegetables and vegetables for your restaurant. I was buying meat, because from today onwards I was buying The restaurant was about to restart. Seeing this, Rentt becomes very happy. After this we see Lauren, who is making a special kind of serum. She was making it and Rentt was sitting in front watching all this. Lawrence was there after the serum was ready, gives Rentt a drink, after which after drinking the serum prepared by him, he tells that he was quite bitter at this. Lorraine tells him that you are probably the first person in the world to know this. Seeing this, he is able to drink the poison completely, was amazed at her healing herbal serum. The impact Rentt was having on his body. She asks if you are still sleeping does not come, so Rentt tells Lauren that he doesn't get any sleep, but he desire to eat human flesh and drink blood. Hearing this, she gives him a serum, which he can drink. After that, he comes to know that it is a serum. No, it was Lorraine's blood. Lorraine Yi knew very well that Rentt was to be treated like a human being. Desire to eat flesh and drink blood. That's why he experimented on his blood. I made that serum by just one drop of it. All the thirst of Rentt can be quenched by drinking only. The Rentt goes away, then he tells Lauren that he will go to laboring now, but before that, he will need a job at the guild. Upon hearing this, Lauren tells him that the guild. To go and get a job, you need to. You will have to show your ID, and if the guild finds out it was announced that you had returned, the entire guild. There will be a stir in the Rentt on this. He tells him that I'm only a bronze level. He was an adventurer, so nobody cared. On this, Lauren explains to him that even though he was a bronze level adventurer, but people liked you because you helped new adventurers. And the guild, I was thinking about hiring you. On this, Rentt asks him why he got all this. On how she knows, she tells him that, the guild, I also know Lauren. Later, he was inducted into the guild with a new identity. She asks me to leave and agrees with her. He changes his name and goes to the guild. You get Sale there, but you have to change the send. Because she is unable to recognize him, he is Sella's. Join the guild as a new adventurer with joins and Shyla when she meets new recruit. She asks me to do the necessary paperwork for it, then he tells her a lie that Sheila, does not know how to read and write. That is why Lauren helps him, and it is she who has helped him in all this suggested to do it, because if he reveals his true identity to the guild, you ask him a lot of questions. What is the use of that? It happened, and how did he become like this? Well, that new joins the guild with identity. And again from level 1, that is iron level. Starts his adventure journey. Now he has submitted a Rentt in the guild in the name of BVN, while his first name was Rentt. It was Faina. That's why when Sella sees this name, so he pays him Rentt. That is about the same. Let me tell you how a few days ago, an adventurer named Faina disappeared this. But he tells her that he is new in town, and since Lorraine is her relative, she talking to him about the Rentt he is living with comes to know that Shayla has loved him a lot. I missed it. After all the paperwork was done, she gives him an iron badge and tells him that from now on, she also says you are an iron adventurer, that he should take care of himself, because on seeing him, she misses the Rentt Faina next scene. I see Rentt inside the labyrinth, where he was quite young and had a sword. An eagle and a healer are seen together, a goblin and a low-rank slime. Seeing them facing Munster, Rentt was sure that both of them were Munster. That's why he will defeat the Labyrintho. He sets out to explore, wondering if he'd meet a giant monster. If he doesn't find it, he takes the guild to that corner of the labyrinth promotion by telling about the secret part can get it, because iron-ranked Rentt was a big deal for the adventurer. With the help of the transportation circle, comes to that part of the labyrinth which is called X was not loaded. Yet there was a strange room in which an adventurer. He was completely shocked to see that a skeleton was present. I was surprised that someone used to live in this room. Then he meets a girl here who attacks him, so that he can get away from the lady of this room goes and falls. Was protecting Rentt's clothes during the attack. After the burning, when that lady saw his body, when she sees him, she says that maybe she misunderstood him. He understood and apologized to her and gave her his watch back. The lady gives it to him to wear and tells him this room is special to him, so he don't tell anyone about this room. After that, he gives her a magic map and power to teleport out of the labyrinth. Rentt would take the map and go to Lorraine. When she looks at that map, she sees something. I don't understand it. Because there is magic on it, it was not working. That's why she asked me to try Rentt map. And now, the reflection moon, in the map, the full map of the labyrinth was revealed. And that map is for all the things present in the labyrinth. Seeing this, he was telling the location of the adventurer. Rentt and Lauren were totally shocked. Soon both of them come to know that this map can only show a map of that labyrinth in which its owner has gone. That is the map is in. That will not show the map of the labyrinth in which the Rentt hasn't gone yet. After that, Lauren, given by that mysterious lady Lauren, asks about the cloak, tells him that the cloak belongs to an armorer, who will protect him now. Rentt and Lorraine, and about the mysterious room, and that lady wanted to know. That's why Rentt back there decides to go. Rentt knew that. That lady is very powerful and dangerous, but the lady forbade him to come back. Know that he did that. That's why he did it once again. I wanted to go there. After that, we will pay the rent. Look inside the labyrinth where a skeleton attacks the monster, Rentt. But he easily kills him and moves on. After this, he goes to the labyrinth when he reaches the secret door. He sees that it has stopped now. I was surprised to see that's why the magical map helped. He tries to take it, but no one can take it from him. I would have understood by seeing that Rentt is not beneficial. that maybe the mysterious lady doesn't want it. I'll be back on the other side. We'll be see Shayla at the guild, who has the adventurer was asking about the rent, but Shayla is still not aware about the rent. Nothing was actually found out from the rent. Many people became adventurers after getting inspired, and he was missing her. Sela was also somewhere. Neither did she like him, which is why she became an employee of the guild, but there was no news about her. Because I didn't know anything about it, I was very Shayla was upset, and was thinking all this when suddenly, there he gets the rent which he pays to 3 owners. First, Sela demands the mission to kill him. She refuses to give the task because T-York, for an iron-level adventurer, facing them together is a very difficult task, but when Rentt tells him that he was the first, he has also killed an orc, so he can give the rent to. That gives the job of going on a mission, and also advice to take care of yourself in the next scene. We see Rentt back at the guild, where he finds Sela having meat of those 3 more shows, him who he needs to kill from the guild. The task was given to Sela. She was surprised to see that Rentt claimed to be an iron-level adventurer. Even after this, he could complete such a difficult task alone. Shayla was quite impressed with Rentt. She was asking the Rentt to wait a little, goes inside, and after a while something. She comes back with the documents and tells him that he talked to his senior and told him convinced. For bronze level promotion to reach bronze level, simply pay Rentt now. You will have to give a small exam for which you was ready, because he could reach Mithra as soon as possible. I wanted to reach that level when I came back. Lauren is shocked when she learns that Rentt has cheated the guild. I have registered the rent in the name of my wife, so she tells him that you have taken my surname. Do you know why you registered with that? People will make up stories on this. Rentt says that it's nothing to be worried about. I often visit your house, and so that people don't make up things, I kept myself as your relative in the guild. Rentt was introduced the next day. Guild to give bronze level exam. I reached there to sell Rentt. She was surprised to see that she had thought that maybe he won't come now when examiners come there, who tells all the candidates that first they will have a written exam and the candidate will pass the written exam. Only they will have to appear for further practical exam, and then he will be given a bronze medal. You will become a level adventurer. Rentt watches that to give the exam, that Seaman and healers also came, whom Rentt had sent to the labyrinth. I have seen it now because Rentt has done it before. He had given this exam, that's why he was very easily passed this exam. Sela thanks him for his good marks in the exam. She praises him after seeing him, after which she rents. He asks him that in practical exam, Shayla tells him what he needs to do. You will have to form a team to complete the task. Shayla then calls those shorts man and healer. There she calls those whom the Rentt has called to the labyrintho. She tells that now all 3 of them are together for 1 day. We are in a team and complete the task together. Will the Stingray's name Rise and healer? The name was Laura Rise and Laura Rentt. Tell us about your own power. After which they can also pay the rent as per their power. Tells us that he was with a sword. Fights and uses magic with spirit energy. Reese and Laura could have used beam power. But rant about your secret powers. If I don't tell them, the teacher would come there now, which gives a map to all the candidates and tells them that they all have their own New Moon labyrinth following the map. I have to go to the place mentioned in the map, the team which will reach there first. If she reaches there, she will be rewarded with this much. Not only to complete this task of yours, candidates can go to any extent to get this. After this, with both your partners, the New Moon heads out into the labyrinth. And the rest of the teams were also moving in that direction. New Moon Labyrintho. To purchase a new map of the labyrinth, he says. Because the map given by the teacher Reese was old enough to have had so many. He didn't have the money to buy a map. Ren buys a new map with his own money. When he bought the map he got from the guild. If we compare it with the new map, then the new map was better than the guild map. After which Rise and Lara thanks Rentt for this. It is said that after this he, along with Rage, and the New Moon, enters the labyrinth. They find some skeleton monsters. They kill them very easily. Rentt, Rise, and Laura team up during the fight. I was very happy to see the work inside, and rented a house. There is also a strange powder available, which is usually it is humans who use it, and the reason behind those powders is that skeleton monsters have been coming that way since Rentt, seeing this, understands that it is definitely a labyrinth. There are some people also who are hiding from me. They might have to fight, and that Rise Laura tells him to be prepared for it. In view of the danger, Rentt tries to stay at the forefront, decides to move a little further. A group attacks Rise in great bravery, in collaboration with Laura. Rentt, Rise, and Laura fight together. Fight the leader of the group and defeat him. On the other hand, Rentt group I was fighting with the other members and they got mesmerized. Rage and Laura Rentt are defeated by. Seeing the strength, one should follow it. They decide, after which these three move forward. After they leave, a man grows that comes to the group during the fight was in hiding. And now he was suspicious of Rentt. He says, maybe I know this guy. Who could be on the other side now in the guild too? Senior officials started getting suspicious about the Rentt because he was above his level, was powerful and intelligent, and there was not much information about the Rentt. That's why I asked Officer Sella about the Rentt. If you find out anything, inform them immediately. On the other hand, Rentt rise and floor boss room in Labyrinth with Lara. But then here, another group of candidates would also have come rise. And Laura are in the rental group. Like looking at the younger candidates make fun of them, and with Laura. They also misbehave with the Rentt after seeing this. He gets angry and turns his sword towards them. He points out that all the people get scared, seeing this, and says he is just joking. There were those people to go before them too. But rent them the boss room. I offer to go first, so that the group is very happy and says to rise the Rentt that he lets the other group into the room first. Why are you being stupid by sending it? Because in this way they will lose, but in the next... The moment when all the candidates enter the room, Raj and Laura come out injured. They understand that Rentt has taken a toll on their safety. That is why the other group should enter the room first. I had given the Rentt to explain to Raj and Laura that if an adventurer feels that if you can't win the fight, then run away from there. Leaving is the best option for him. And this does not make anyone a coward. Now Raiz and Laura went inside the room and called. Boss Munster had decided to defeat him because he wanted to become a bronze-level adventurer. Rentt was very happy to see the bravery of both of them and goes inside the room with both of them. When they go inside the boss room, they will get a giant lime monster is found which grows on top of them. Rage starts attacking. First proceeds to kill Munster. But he quickly realizes that she can't beat it alone, because Lime Munster was much more powerful than him. Now Rentt had already explained it to Laura, that he could use his power to take over Lime Monster. That's why Laura Munsters to use your fire magic above here on Lime Munster Rise. The Rentt was becoming a burden, so I helped him during this time. Laura also uses her fire magic, is ready to use. She completes her magic spell and attack the monster with your fire magic, which gives Lime Monster in a short while, weakens before Lime can spread its Rentt her magical reasoning. You again. The boss destroys the stone by breaking it. Lara and Rise are very happy after killing the monster. After this, the Rentt was given to them by Munster. Asks to collect the liquid, because they could make money by selling it. The next moment, people from another group were there. Candidates also come, but in the room, fall unconscious after getting trapped in a sleepy gas trap. Let's go now. Lara and Rice understand that Guildmaster had placed him in the most not to reach first, but just asked him to complete his task, and this was the reason why both of them had to hurry to get the Rentt. I was preventing him from taking any wrong step after Rentt Examiner with Reese and Laura, where they find them. Bronze level reward for completing the task, he gives them the badge, and at the same time he calls them the boss bonus for being the first to enter the room. He also gives some gifts as a gift and says that on showing this badge on the desk, they will get their Lara, and Rage will get the official tag. All three are very happy to see. They come to Sella with their respective badges, where he was awarded official bronze level. Sella now gets the tag of an adventurer. The boy comes to them, who is in the labyrinth actually. The guild itself was keeping an eye on him, was sent to keep an eye on him. So that we can find out that all three of them are good and nice. Are you an adventurer or not, because guilds are bad, does not increase the adventurer's rank. But it passed all three exams in every expectation I had gone now. Because the mission was accomplished. Hence Rage, Lara, and Rentt are different. It was time for Rentt to start. His mission had helped Rage and Lara a lot during this time, and he also taught them a lot. That's why they both say thanks to Rentt. They both work with him as a team. Wanted to do it, but it wasn't possible. Because Rentt had some different plans of his own. After Laura and Reese leave, Rentt returns to asks about what happened to her. What was the Rentt after listening to Shayla's words? It is assumed that Shayla knows about him. That's why he tells her that if the guild is mine, knowing the truth and admitting my actions are wrong. If he wants to punish me, then I will be forever. I will leave the guild for this. That the guild knows the truth about her, I don't know. And I look at them in the labyrinth. The one who keeps it is none other than his brother. I just want to know that what happened to him in any case. Wanted to know what happened to Dent was because Dent had tried to make a living off of him, and like her, many people's lives were changed and helped. That's why Shayla also has to help him now. I wanted to trust the Rentt, but I didn't want to trust it. He tries to make a magical pact to get this done. Decides on the basis of which the Rentt is charged, will not tell the truth to anyone. And if he does so, if she does, then by the magical force, she penalty will have to be paid. And at the same time, any such will go to a country where slavery is common, and the rest of his life as a slave. I was surprised to hear that I will spend on Rentt that she was willing to go to this extent to Rentt signs the agreement and gives Shayla. After showing his real face to them, tells about the whole incident, which now Scylla was very happy to know that what had happened to him. It is sad that Rentt alone cost so much. He was facing problems and she was helping him. She decides to rent it. After that, takes him to Lauren's house, where Lauren was completely stunned to see Sheila with him. She was not happy because she herself was nowhere. Somewhere, I started liking Rentt and now Rentt, and when Shayla is sitting with Lauren, Lauren begins to scare Sheila that she is a bad woman who kills and eats children. But Shayla knows about Lauren was that he is a researcher, that's why he is not. Lauren is scared, then they have dinner together. She asked me to do it, and after which all three of them. They have dinner together and Sheila gets to know. It turns out that Rentt cooks Lorraine's food. And he also cleans the house. This is also. It is revealed that Rentt is drinking Lorraine's blood. Scylla controls himself after this rant, and tells Lauren that in a few days, many knights are disappearing in the kingdom, to which Lauren says that she monster might be killing her. But Scylla says that if monsters had killed them, they would have been at the crime scene. In fact, one or the other of his belongings would definitely be found. The guild has to face some special people behind this. There was a possibility of Rentt being one of them. Rentt was this. Hearing this, I went into the labyrinth for a few days. Decides to leave so that the false suspicion may be averted. Moving away from the above, in the next scene we see Laura, and let's look at Rice, which is bronze level. After becoming an adventurer, you can do a good mission. Shayla Guildmaster was waiting here. Rentt from Guildmaster. Shayla asks about Faina. If she has any. It was found out because they had taken him into the guild. Was thinking about including this. Shayla suggests to the guild that the new Rentt is also a great knight actually. Now he is trying was doing that, the Guildmaster old one. Now consider the new Rentt instead of the existing Rentt because they both were the same about it. The guild is completely unaware of this after we are shown that Rentt is a labyrinth. He sets off again without Lauren. Tell her that she finds out and she says that Rentt shouldn't have gone at least then, until people start getting kidnapped. The real culprits of the situation where he gives him his sword and tells that he did. As he said, adjustments have been made to the sword and that mana can be used in this, and it can be tested. After this, he also asked me to pay the rent. First, the sword is buffed with magic and uses on wooden block, and easily seeing this, he breaks it into 2 pieces. Smith says that he and his mana are the last. After this, we have become more powerful than Time Rent Spirit. Energy and new leaves had appeared on the bundle of Dividaga. I was a bit surprised to see that he Divis can also do it and say that Divis. It is often given by the gods. How does he have a dilly on which he can pay the rent? He told that once he had visited Aben Shrine, it was repaired and it is possible that it is in the same condition. From him, he has a Divis rent from him to the Surd. A asked to test again and again, and Smith says, you should already try everything. Have you done it yet? What's left to rent? He says that all those powers are together. On the Sardar. Hearing this, Smith wants to buff it and use it. He asked him if he had ever considered fusion. I've heard Rand say that I've just heard some rumors about Smith saying that 2 together, or to use more powers then you have to master it first, because if there is a mistake in it, your body can be X-loaded, Smith. He asks her again if she should still try. Would you like to do it or not? And the answer to the rent is yes, because he feels that his body Smith is much more powerful than an ordinary person before, that he gives him another Sard, so that he doesn't ruin his own new Sard. Now rent a Sard and make yourself magical, and starts buffing with spirit energy. Due to this, the pressure on his body starts increasing. It all seemed to him as if he, putting things inside an already filled box is filling up so that he can't control himself, finds it and throws the attack at Wood. Seeing this, Smith tells him that he already has 2. If the powers were enough for him then, would he Rentt will use Divili. Says that, of course, after this he became a part of the universe through magic and spirit energy. He also buffs Diwali and says he must be a mithril class adventurer. Smith sees that his intensity will remain, cracks have started appearing in the Sard due to magic. Then Rentt throws the attack on Wood, due to which the Sard gets destroyed and one transforms into a small ball. Smith then gives him his surrogate mother and says that this Sardar can handle Diwali. But what she just did, this Sard is not made for him. He asks for Rentt. What would happen if there was someone like that in front of him? The enemy has arrived, which is a simple mana fusion. If he could not defeat with the attack, then Smith. He says that then he would have dozens of such swords. For this you will need to rent a house. There is no money. After this, the rent starts coming back and it releases that good equipment and mithril class. Adventurer. He needs a lot of money to become, then he spots an adventurer from whom a boy was asking for help. But the adventurer refuses, saying that no one can accept a job that he should not be from the guild because it would harm him. There could be a problem. Only then the Rentt would come here, and by giving that adventurer a little money he asks to cut, and tells the girl that I will accept your job. There is no guarantee, but what a job it is. The boy tries to defeat the Lord of the Lake, requests that after this it be to Lauren. The boy goes near him and calls himself Duts, introduces and tells that he comes from the village of Totsuka, where Rentt says that he had heard about that village. I have heard that there is a strange festival there too. It is celebrated on this rites, states that there is a legend in his village about. According to Village to Save Village, the people, a girl whose body is considered to be. She was filled with gifts for the Lord of the Lake, I did, and even today I remember that day. That's why they celebrate this festival every year. And some other girl plays the part of sacrifice. She does it. But in reality she sacrifices someone's. It would not have happened, but this time it was really Lord of the Lake appeared and made a sacrifice, ate the girl who played, and now Lord of the Lake and more girls. They are asking for sacrifice because of which many girls of the village are already dead, and now next is her own sister who, he doesn't want to let that happen at all. Now Rentt accompanies Ritus to his village, and he sees a sign on the door of the Ryan's house. Looks at it, and asks about it. He tells that, because this bar is his sister, that is why this is written on the door of his house. The road is built after this is Yont. Asa's sister Amiras opens the door and lets him in. She takes it and gets angry at him for who is the strange man she takes with her. Has come on. This Ritz says that he is a good man and has come for their work. Amaris opens the door and tells Rentt that this festival has been going on in the village for a long time, is coming, and she doesn't want to end her life. By saving the village, it puts the Rentt in danger. She asks him to go back, but the Rentt is refused. While doing this, he says that Radis has hired me. That is why I did this as per your instructions. I can't resign from the job. Rentt the next day. He starts roaming in the village where he goes to the merchant convoy where some dried fruit to the children of merchant village feeds them fruits and requests them that they send it to their parents so that they can sell some of it or rent it. Here arrives and the children celebrate his appearance. Seeing him, they run away and the merchant seeing him. He asks if he hasn't seen him here before. He has come for the festival, rent it. He says that the merchant tells something similar because he has come at the wrong time. The Lord of the Lake is angry and the villagers, I don't have time to buy my stuff. And he should leave from here. Only then, Ritus Rentt calls out to Rentt for lunch, asks him about the merchants but he tells her that these people often come here. They come, and they are very nice people now at night. The people of the village want this rich man to sacrifice his life and apologizes to her. They ask for it, and say that it is for the whole village. This sacrifice is very important, says America, that he has no regrets about it. And he became angry with the Lord by not giving sacrifice. I don't want to rent here after some time. Comes and tells him that you don't be so eager for sacrifice and think of your brother. She is your only family. She is this. Also says that the Lord of the Lake is, Ritus will handle it together, but Amira says that the Lord of the Lake is not a weak being, that anybody would handle them, rents that he has to trust his brother. For him to call the Lord of the Lake himself, you don't have to sacrifice after this. There are rituals and the rich follow them, sent to the lake for sacrifice. Rentt and Ritus are also with him. Then they see a light and a big coming out of Munster Lake. Amir feels that's the Lord of the Lake on Rentt, go to the Kraken Munster and swim above the water. Seeing this, Amiris and Radis stand up. Both were surprised how he was able to do that, but actually it was an alchemy that Lauren the Kraken monster Rentt. Seeing him coming in between, he attacks him with fireballs. Kraken monster usually does it fire. Balls cannot attack. So he gets suspicious, and that is why he attacked her. I see him dodging and trying to attack from that side. He tries, but that monster is just one. There was an illusion, and on the other side there was a big ship which belonged to the merchants. See this, Rentt? One understands that these are the people behind this fake Lord of the Create, the illusion of a lake, and use magic. They attack them with fire. Confrey should have returned, but now it's too late. It's late. Baby merchants on top of him. They start attacking, but this merchant's gang. The next day, the rich take over the Rentt. She tells the villagers the truth about the merchant. This is how these people create illusions. The elders were taking the sacrifice of the girls about other girls from villager merchant. If I ask him, he tells me the truth. All those girls are alive, and they have a plan. Heard that they were going to be sold to another country. Immediately, some people would go to take the girls back. Now the Rentt job was completed, but Ritus and his sister take him home after the festival. When asked to leave, the Rentt is sold to Malt. He had to return, so Amorous saw him for the last time. She says thanks, and the Rentt is returned. And Lauren tells the whole story here. Lauren pulls his leg and says, "Is Amir in love with you?" On this, the Rentt says that something like this. Well, after this, there is no new from Rentt Guild. Comes to take the job, but because he was still a Leban, so nobody knew him. He wanted a job, so his eyes fell on a job in which he has to bring the dragon blood flower, and the reward for that was just a bronze. Was there any peace for such a dangerous job? He will not accept the price. That is why he accepts the job. And Sheila tells that dragon blood flower is poisonous. Rents are found near the swamp that someone needs this flower for medicine. I want this job, and this is for the children of orphanage was by my side, and they had to save someone's life for this. I need this dragon blood flower. After this, the Rentt comes to that orphanage. There is a door. The little girl opens the door and tells him, the Rentt, that I am the adventurer who found them. Accepted the job with the dragon blood flower. Hearing this, the girl immediately calls him inside and introduces him to the other children. This girl calls herself by the name Elise, introduces and also tells the Rentt here that he is a bronze-level adventurer. Elise was surprised as she thought that someone also accept his job above iron rank. Will not care. Rentt tells that the dragon blood flowers are not easily available, and the job is quite dangerous. On this, Alice says that. She knows it very well, and dragon blood flowers are not available in any store. And if we meet, they are so much it will be expensive that he can't afford it. He can, but he only needs one flower. Rentt asks her why she got these flowers. She wants to keep this thing a secret from him. Elise requests to keep it, after which Rentt is introduced to headmistress Lillian, who says to the Rentt that I am sorry I could not welcome you and myself as priests of this place and of the church. Lillian knew it, that he's here to kill the basement monsters. He has come to kill me, not the dragon blood flower, to bring allegiance to Lillian's illness. Telling about it, she says that she is a divili, is a user, but when someone doesn't have DeVito, if it were so, then every time that person would divide. If it is there, then evil energy starts accumulating inside it. And the same seems to be the case with Priestess Lillian. She is also slowly dying, and dragon blood to save them. Flower wants Rentt, asks him if Lillian knows about her illness. To this, Alice says no, because if they find out, she will go to someone else by entrusting this church and orphanage to Pistis. I will go away and consider death a gift from God. Rentt says she will hug me. Then, they have to get that flower before that. Alice was very happy and had taken this job. I accepted it because I didn't expect it that someone will accept this job, and that's why he became an adventurer and found the flower. I also thought about bringing the Rentt on, says training to become an adventurer. Well, now, because he has a job, I had accepted it. That's why she was the first one come to kill the basement monsters. He goes there and finds many dangerous things. Rats are found, one of which attacks the Rentt and bites his hand. Rentt throws it at him and notices that the color of the rat has changed to Rentt. I remember Lauren talking about vampires. That's why he tries to make the mouse go round in circles. He gives the order, and the mouse follows his order. Elise is shocked to see he does the same. Now come back to Lorraine's house with the Rentt. Rat goes where he tells her about the rat. When she asks, he tells her that this mouse is now. Lauren understands that he is a party member, that Rents are also monsters, like vampires can control. And this is why it happened, because rats attacked the Rentt. His blood test was done at that time, asks if he can keep the mouse. Lauren agrees, but only on one condition, but that the rat too needed his research just like him. You will have to give blood and hair samples for. She then asks him if it has a name based on the Rentt and its color. Seeing the black man, he names him Lauren, doesn't like it and calls it Edel, gives Rentt and says it likes the name. Hearing this, Lorraine asks her if he can understand the language of the person on whom the rent is being paid. He says that he doesn't understand her language, but what is he thinking can be known to a great extent. Till the scene shifts and I watch Rentt stay up at night because he cannot sleep and keeps thinking. Somehow he has to pass his time. Lorraine arrives, who has brought food for her because the next morning it would turn poisonous, was about to head for the swamp, and Laurent was to be taken first. I knew about it because I was the one where to find dragon blood flower. He also tells him about the monster of Tarascon. She tells me that the one who lives there is alone. You will not be able to defeat him. To which Rentt says that, if that is the case, then he will fight with that monster. I am not going to do it. I would rather avoid it. But Lauren still gives her a bottle of holy water, which he gives to Terest. Munster. Lauren can keep distance after this food. She asks him to eat it before it gets spoiled, and when the Rentt eats the food, he gives it to it. When asked the reason, he tells her that it is very tasty. It turns out that it contains Lauren's blood. The scene shifts and the carriage is mixed, leaving Bala Rentt out of the toxic swamp, and says that he will not go further than this. I can go and come to collect the Rentt in the evening. Notices that there are many rare animals, and there are plants that are only found here. Even the monsters who live here. From the monster that meets in the labyrinth only, when they are powerful, they can do something. Here notices the goblins who are shooting arrows at him, but also the Rentt. He was not some low-level adventurer, kills in one blow, and with idle says that like the owner always cares for me. Don't sit on my shoulders, what help can you give? The Rentt goes ahead and relives that. Being undead has its fun because of this poisonous swamp is causing some damage to its body. Well, I can't spoil it in just a few words. The Rentt falls into the water, and the dull bastard. He jumps in advance to save himself, only then the Rentt. But a monster attacks him, whom he kills, and comes out. Here we see Lauren. And let's see Sheila, where she tells that. The guild finds out about Tosu village, where a girl named Amiris lives. Along with that, other girls also got money from merchant was saved, but none of the villagers knew. It did not tell who was the adventurer who had helped them. And this was because if he did so, the Rentt would be paid on behalf of the guild. He was suspended along with the penalty. Well, Sheila then asks Laurent whether he knows that the Rentt is at the real level. Laurent on why he wants to be an adventurer. She says no, and she never did. Anyway, I didn't even try to ask because you don't poke your nose into his personal matters. Want to face Rentt here, Terest Munster. And she tries to run away from him, tries because of Lorraine's on Munster. I did not do the holy water work given to me. Soon he comes across a dead end to take the fight from the monster of Terrace in front of him. There was no other choice but to. He starts attacking with his magic, but Rentt also knew that nothing happens to Munster, that he didn't defeat him with just mana. Attack. That's why he can use spirit energy and buffs mana and attack simultaneously. This also does not cause any fatal injury to Munster. Then his mouse moves towards Munster and starts to climb on top of him, and Rentt sees that the rat is using his own DeVito, and it enters her mouth for some time. Later he comes out, and the Rentt ends without her. Refusal to use his powers without permission. He does, but then he notices that seeing this Munster starts writhing in pain. Rentt realizes that his weakness is Dewey. There is needy magic. That's why this time she is defeating. Sard, Devi gets buffed by Nady, and his attacks her neck to her body. Avoiding that mouse also sets aside some credit, to which Rentt says, yes, brother, thank you very much. After that, he puts the terrace in his bag and comes to the area where there were thousands of dragon blood flowers in front of them. By looking at the surrounding area, one can understand that because of these flowers, this area, it is not toxic at all, and clean water flows. He was about to pluck flowers from here. That's when the mouse alerts him, and he sees an unknown elf here who says, it is enough to see someone here in this area. It is surprising that after seeing him, asks if he has come alone, on whom he says yes, but Rentt says that the terrace is a swamp and this place is for common people. It doesn't matter at all to me that you are not a normal person. But the elf says that I have one like this. The item that protects from poison is holy water, who can drive Terrace Munster away, and there is a map here. It also tells he also needs some dragon blood flowers, and asks Rentt if he can bring some flowers. Can take Rentt. No problem with this, after which she got some flowers for herself. Breaks it, and asks Rentt if that's all he needs, which he says that yes, and he has this. For his mistress Rentt, he asks if he is very ill, on which he says that it seems so. The Rentt says that the address, no, it will make a difference or not. But I will pray for them now. This man is paying the rent offers a job because they have no such. They need a guy who can drink dragon's blood for them. He could bring flowers and she could also give him good money. Rentt likes his offer. After which the elf named himself Isaac introduces and says back, he will make all the arrangements after he returns. Rentt then returns and gives Sela he asked me to return the bag and tells me that hearing that he'll need a butcher. Sela is shocked and asks, did he kill Tarascan? Rentt tells him to speak softly. Because everybody in the guild looks at him. Sela was staying there after this. The rent was given to the butcher as the rent is to be paid for the terrace. Munster's body was to be butchered so that they get a lot of different materials. Maybe he knows the basics, but this take help of a professional for the work. It was necessary to Sela. After this, he was named Dario. She introduces him to the butcher, after which she meets his butcher. Go to dinner and make all the preparations and wear a mask for poison. Let's take all of Dario's rent on the terrace, which takes out the poison from Dario, and rescue's body was coming out quite a lot. Very impressed with the rent after seeing it. In good condition, gets up and says, did he tell her he was killed in just a single hit? On which Rentt says yes, because he has no. Rentt had no choice but to ask if he should. You will get good money for this. Be afraid. He says yes, you will get good money. After a while, Rentt and Sela would come out and Sela says that you are already enough. Have you become powerful? Really, yes, because killing that giant rescue monster too. This alone is a big deal, I think. Now you are easily promoted to silver rank. You can then talk about Rentt. Isaac starts to think that he looks like someone. He did not look like an adventurer, but he was powerful. Surely he is in silver or close to power rank. There will be 2 gold, and then he will also talk about himself. Starts thinking that he too is carrying. His undead body has reached this level only by taking advantage of, and without this power, he is just a weak person. Was an adventurer after 10 years of hard work? He had been there, and if he does that again, if it happens, then maybe Mithril. Class adventurer, becoming one, will remain just a dream for him. The next day, Rentt goes to the orphanage, and Alice's indicates that the job has been completed and gives him the dragon blood flower. For this, after these people, herbalist Norman and healer, meets Ambert, who is quite close to Rentt, were impressed because dragon blood flower. Bring that too from a bronze class adventurer. It's too hard for Norman and Ambert. He is the priest as medicine for Lillian. We're about to make a production and asks if he can use the leftover flowers because there are so many people who need it. Seeing this, Rentt asks him if he, and I want more flowers, for which no one says yes. Why? No, Rentt. Put lots of flowers in front of it and tells him to pay for it. You don't need them, just make good use of them. Norman thanks him and says this will help him a lot of people. Amber Tao also says that if she ever faces any problem, if he needs anything, he can ask them. Alice then gives him the job completion papers. She gives it to him and says that she will always be his. She will remain thankful and says that she wishes could also be useful to him, on whom the Rentt says that he too needs help sometimes. And whenever this happened, he would call her for help. He will definitely tell Alice before leaving. He also asked for training for adventurers, because she also wanted to be an adventurer. He says that according to the guild powers gives the adventurer their class and herself too. He promises to train him, and this also says that he has a friend who is with his. She can teach him magic in her free time, but Elise refuses because magic. There is a lot of expense involved in training. I can't afford it, which says Rentt. That if that is the case, then he would not do it without any. Can lend money on interest, and when Alice can return it once she starts earning. For this, she agrees to rent. Lauren's house comes and tells about Alice. To which Lauren replies, yes, you are right nowadays. I am free, so I can train him, yes. But you should think about your words. You should use it with understanding. You do not know that. What do young girls feel about that? Rentt says, thanks for the advice. I don't think I'm interested in young girls. I meet you more often. To this, Lauren says, hey, it is not so. There is a young girl who, you know it very well, just look at this, listen to this. Rentt asks, who is Lorraine then? The poor girl was talking about herself, but she had to pay the rent. Where does the young man think that Lauren has his one showing powerful offense magic? She says, let's see, I just made this. How strong and powerful is your body? Hearing this, Rentt immediately started praising her. It feels and says in your innocence, the moon's light is reflected shyly on your face. Every angel of nature is like snow, like the bright spring. God in his leisure time gave you a soft body. Lauren was impressed to hear this handmaid. She goes and asks if he is with everyone. He recites this Shayari to the girl, Rentt on this. He says there is nothing like that, that's what he said. What he was thinking now at night about the Lauren mirror. She stands in front and praises the Rentt. She looked quite happy. We saw her the next morning. That's because the mouse is sleeping. Rentt comes alone to the guild. Where's Sheila? She asks him if we can talk. Rentt asks what happened, what is it about? I want to talk, Sheila tells him. Whether he knew anyone in the Lutter family, he refuses the Rentt, after which she gives a letter addressed to the Lutter family. Rentt specifically received a job offer from Rentt. Sees that it's from Isaac. Sheila asks if he knows her. To which Rentt says, I think that man is the Lutter family's servant. Sheila asks him about the Lutter family. Who? But she tells him that it is in the family mall. It is the oldest family, and their malt is in. I am more influenced by him than by... I don't know about it because those people are very guild masters of every generation. Our creative is explained well that he is a letter. Do not disturb the family in any way, which means if the Rentt is here in the malt, if he wants to stay, then he can't refuse this job. To which Rentt says that he has to do this. You don't even have to refuse a job. She says that if she has any problem, then he can tell her that we are here in the orphanage. Look to healers and herbalists who have had prepared the medicine for Lillian, and she. He should also have told her about his illness. Lillian hears this and says if that is the case. So he had to ask the church for his replacement, to which Norman says that he won't need it. After that, he gives me medicine and I have to take a pill daily. He asked me to do that, which he is absolutely fine with. Elise gets emotional seeing this, and she hugs him. On the other side, the Rentt goes to the Lutter family residence where the guard tells him about the maze. The Rentt says he is just here for a job has come, but the guard tells him that still he has to go. We will have to go through this same maze, and it also states that any kind of... The map is not going to work because this mistake. Bulaya is created with the help of a special magic item. High Rentt was surprised that such an item really existed. It also happens on which the guard tells that the head of the family always collects magic items, have been doing this, and if they get confused and reaches the mansion, then the family. The head gives him a magic item as a reward. Rentt Denge thinks the guard will never. I must have passed through this maze sometime. That's why someone asks him for advice, which he can give to the one whom he calls Gerd. Forgot that Rentt don't trust the sun. He enters the labyrinth here. He also tries to use a magical map, but he does not help her, after which he moves forward, relying on his own senses, but even after a long delay, he was still in the same position. I was roaming around the place again and again after a long time. He realizes that he is lost. Now Rentt somehow wanders and comes to one place where he sees a way out. The path was not to the mansion, and he had to go there. A girl is also seen. Rentt feels that this girl is definitely the head of the Lutter family. That girl must be his daughter, and asks him what he wants to cross this mistake or wants to return, to which the Rentt says that he will surely cross this. That girl will tell him. She asks me to take a break and offers me tea. She does this, and he accepts the Rentt for it. She serves him tea, and Rentt finds out that this tea set is also a magical item, and he can make tea of every kind of flavor. The flavor of tea which was never added in it before. Made by Rentt. Like this item. And he asks, where did he get this item from? Mila tells me that there are two kinds of magical items, are one that is in the labyrinth and others are those who are craftsmen. This t-shirt is made by looking at the original. This is an original item which is 200 years old, and I met her in Lebanon. She also says that its cost is around 300 platinum coins. Rentt is shocked to hear this because any person can get relief with just 1 platinum coin. Spend your life watching this, Rentt. I understand that these people are quite smart people. Now, as soon as Rentt drinks tea, the mask transforms automatically. Seeing this, the girl gets surprised and she asks if this is also a magical item, and where did he get it from? Rentt tells that yes, this is a magical item which can make him happy. The girl says that someone she knew gave it to her. Excuse me. Would you like to sell it? I'll pay you pretty well for it. Hearing this, Brent starts thinking about it. That he could sell it and become rich, but he doesn't know how to remove that mask. And anyway, because of this, he is unable to control his undead body. Was able to hide the identity of that person. He rejects her offer, that too. She apologizes to him and says that she felt so. Should not have done it because it is magical. The item will be special for him, says her, after that Rentt tea. He thanks her for it and the girl gives him a hint that he should look towards the sun. I want to avoid watching it again after this. Starts wandering around in a maze, but he can't see the mansion Rentt. Then Suraj, and he notices that it was getting telept again and again, and that is why Bauhu Bulaya is still stuck in the same place. By the time I leave, it becomes evening, and finally, he comes out in front of the same girl. And the girl looks at Isaac and welcomes him and introduces herself and tells her that her name is Laura, and that Rentt is the head of the Lutter family, and is surprised to see this. It remains that he is the head of the family. Anyway, Rentt introduces itself and asks him if he can cross the maze. You will get a reward for doing this. Rentt asks if he can find the magic item who can meet that magical maze, which Laura refuses, and Rentt says that in that maze, he was just joking around to bother you. Laura then goes to show him the items. Where the Rentt's site is, a little goes to the airship, and she meets Laura on it. Asks about it. Laura tells him that, did he see airships flying in the west, which is flown with the help of this team, in which people sit. The Rentt says that he hasn't seen airships, but he knows about them. I heard Laura say that this item too. It is the same, but with the help of mana. It has power is done, and controlled by the controller. The Rentt goes, and he uses it. And it was fun to drive it as well, which Laura asks if she wants it to, which Rentt starts to think that this item is just there is a toy in it. So the little child inside it he wants to, but maybe it won't be of much use to him. After this, Laura shows him. The model of an airship asks him to focus, after which his PO also shifts directly to airship. And with its help, he was able to see both of them. She says yes, with the help of a controller, can transfer your mind into the model. This was a very useful feature, but it was a Rentt. Laura consumes a lot of him, and this too tells that the air service flying in the west based on PC model, and it is original Rentt found this item in the labyrinth. It seems quite useful as it helps in easily scout surrounding areas. I could have done it, but at the same time this value was also he uses it a lot, that is why he comes to take it. I was not sure about it. After that he became even more. Starts looking at the magic item and gives it to him. He sees a painting and looking at it he says that this is just a normal painting. Laura asks him to press a nearby button, and as soon as he presses that button, the painting, the monsters come alive, causing Rentt fear. The rant goes that Laura is intentionally. She is enjoying it. But during this time, the magical item consumes its magic, and a big robot gets assembled. It was a golem that Lara Isaacs was trying to stop, asks to bring Golem's shutdown device. And he starts looking for Golem on Rentt here. Starts attacking, and asks Laura for Rentt is he able to attack this Laura? She gives permission for this, and the Rentt is paid. Somehow, he manages to break one of his arms, and then he remembers what Lorraine said. Would have told him about Golem earlier that there is a magical word written on Golem's forehead which means truth, and if he changes it a little and turns it into death. If successful, Golem shuts down automatically. It will happen, but there will be no one to pay the rent on his forehead. The word is not visible, and in this case Lauren. It would have been told that there is a shutdown device for that, and if there is no shutdown device, so he must either run away or face Golem. Now Rentt. Isaac has to defeat him. He calls out and asks if Isaac found the shutdown device or not. Yet, that shutdown device had not been found till now. He is a fusion of his mana and spirit energy. Rentt decides to use it for it gets you ready, and Golem is beyond that too. He attacks. But before that, Laura does something which makes Gollum stop automatically. Rentt thinks he has found the device. Now all three have met each other, start apologizing for their own mistakes, how their mistake caused Gollum to. Lauren got activated after this from Rentt, asks if she liked an item, or no. On this, want to explore a bit more, and his eyes are on a bottle, seeing which his body itself goes away. Bakuda tells me that it is vampire blood and anyone can become a vampire by drinking it. The Rentt asks if this is true, to which Lara says she just heard that. And as far as these records are concerned, people have also drunk your blood, either died or went mad. And if someone, even if he has become a vampire, he would not have publicly disclosed that thing, will not accept it because he will be killed, will be given. But she tells Rentt that you can make a huge fortune by selling. This Rentt makes up his mind and takes it. But for the job with the dragon blood, Flower She air cushion is also available from Laura. On the other hand, Isaac holds the dragon blood. Flower Squeeze Car makes a drink for Laura and asks her if she likes Rentt the nanny. Laura asks him if he feels like doing that, to which I says yes. And to her, he also tells me to rest. Here shows Lauren the vampire blood and tells her he wants to use her, due to which its positive effect will definitely appear on his body. Will have an effect, but Lauren says what? He is not scared because according to Laura, those who drink it are not alive and are alive. So he has gone mad and he says Rentt on this. He is afraid, but he also knows that I know that after drinking this he evolves, she can, and her body needs it. See, Lauren says she doesn't care if he remains undead like this his entire life, lived in her house, but she knew that. The Rentt, he is not going to listen to him because the mithril class adventurer to become Lauren. She says this was always your goal too, which Rentt replies, yes, since childhood. Then Lorraine says, I remember, Sheila asked me something about you. Rentt says what was asked, but Lauren, she says let it be. But Rentt says that now don't tease me when you have asked, tell me. On asking what she was asking, she says that Sala asked me if you were at Mithra level. Rentt, on why you want to be an adventurer, says, did I really love you? She said, we have been together for a long time. You feel this way because you are with someone else, but in truth, till today you have kept me under your control. Nothing was disclosed openly about the past. And by the way, you once said that a never asked the adventurer about his past shouldn't ask. The Rentt says that anyway. There is no special story, so call it revenge. It may not be right, but I want to be that strong. I want to prevent that accident from happening. Actually, I was a friend of a man named Hatla. I used to live in the village, away from the city. My father came out for the villagers, used to bring shopping. And my age, I will be about 5 years old when my parents took me out of the village for the first time. I went to Jin Lane with my best friend. The Jin Lan was very happy, and she always had. The dream was to travel outside because the world, she is very beautiful here. Rentt tells her that the world is full of dangers and Jin is focused on this. She says you are very scared if this happens. If you stay, then you will never be able to become an adventurer. But no, I will become very strong and I will protect you. Rentt it. I didn't even know what an adventurer was. And he was also very shy on this. Lauren says that you're not the same anymore. You keep training, but the Rentt says that if Jin Lin was there, she would have been in his place. She would be doing this because she wanted to be an adventurer. I wanted him to be well. When he was returning from the city, then he was attacked. That was a very big one. And there was the dread wolf that killed his granny. His parents were also killed. Jillian takes his hand and leads him along. She starts running. She had escaped from that wolf, but after a while, he appears before them. Seeing which Rentt had understood that he was them. Wolf is playing with them before killing them. Rentt attacks, but Jin Lane kills him, pushes her away, and takes care of the wolf herself. She is badly injured by the attack. Rentt goes to him and asks on why she did it. Jillian says that I promised to save you. And I kept my promise, but you were to become strong. He can even kill wolf ants. It is about to happen that an adventurer appears. Here arrives and forces Rentt to retreat. That adventurer tells him to fight that wolf. He feels it and pushes it back. The adventurer tells Wolf to run away, and the wolf retreats and runs away. After this, the adventurer asks the Rentt whether it is right what the Rentt says. Why did he not come earlier, on which the adventurer apologizes to him for this. But things don't always go as we want them to. The rant then goes on to say that the bodies were brought back to the village, and he asked the adventurer how he could become the adventurer. He tells on. He must be at least 15 years old for that. Not only this, he will guide him well, and also states that until 15. Till then, the village herbalist, and learn from the old adventurer, and one must also learn to read and write, which is a rent, is very important for an adventurer, asks him if after doing all this he will become stronger, on which he says that he can't promise that. But he is rapidly advancing due to his knowledge and combat skills. After this, the adventurer will be able to grow. Name suggests Wilfred, and that he is a mithril class adventurer. And this is also it says that when you become an adventurer, do come and meet me someday, and until then don't die until you fulfill your dream. Take it, and since then Rentt has a goal, that he too, a good and friendly class like that, became an adventurer, and also that he could conquer that monster. He killed the man who killed his family. He has worked very hard in the last 20 years. But she is still a bronze class. He is an adventurer. But now the time has come to do things, know how to take it to the next level. No, he may or may not survive after drinking vampire blood, but I can't give up. Lauren says, okay, if he has decided, then he will do this also. She says that if he dies, she will be his. She will bury it properly, and hopefully this doesn't happen. Yes. Now the Rentt drinks that blood, but nothing happens. Seeing which Lauren says that maybe it was fake, but after a while he felt very bad. He starts having pain and there are changes in his body. Rentt starts getting scared that he might don't become like those monsters who he kills himself. Then he hears Lauren's voice. Here's a voice that says it on its own has to be controlled because it's a dream he can't give up. Come here. We see the smith who Rentt is making another short for first. Alice on the other side is far more powerful than start practicing with the broom too. In the guild, we rise. Reina and Laura. We also look at those who have come for a new job whom Sela welcomes and tells that today they have a lot of new jobs here, opens the eyes of the one who says that she is a little wants to sleep longer, because it's been a while. He has become undead and has been without sleep for some time. Then he opens his eyes again and sees Lorraine, who reads about vampires. After this, Lauren is buying clothes from him, and wings on her back notices. When Rentt looks at them, he is shocked. But then he shrinks, seeing whom Lauren says that, if they focus, they can make them smaller or bigger. If you can do this for Rentt, then it is good news, because with bigger wings, Lauren never gets to go out after this. She looks at his teeth and eyes and confirms it. Turns out he has become a vampire. Sean shifts, and Lauren leaves with her companions. She brings him out where she asks him, did she ever try to find Wilfred tried? To which Rand says that he saw her everywhere in the country, but it does not seem that he is in this country, and this also says that as a branch class adventurer, it is not safe for him to go to other countries, but now he feels the time has come. She is no longer weak, to which Lauren says, I too want to accompany you on your journey. If I am free, then I would like to rent this. He laughs and says, I will bet you for this. I was about to ask, and with this, the Season 1 of the Unwanted Undead Adventurer is over. It only has one season so far. And if the news is to be believed, then its second season, it is in production, and its release date is also known. There is no official confirmation, but when I will also come, I am here, just explain. Till then, you guys can watch the rest of the videos. You can see, and if you like this explanation, if you like it, then like the video and subscribe the channel.